So tomorrow's launch is the launch party for the movement. We are creating a community and a stronger sense of belonging for the female entrepreneurs within our industry, within AO and AO Southwest. And we're so excited to just get a ton of amazing people, some great speakers. We're going to be doing a Q&A on some really, hard-hitting questions that we all have as women entrepreneurs. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about how to utilize social media to really do some personal development together and get to know the success stories of amazing women within our business. So I'm super excited for it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're here today to do this panel because of the launch tomorrow. We want to bring as much attention to the launch party as we can tomorrow. So it is an event for entrepreneurial minded women. So whether it be in the insurance industry, the real estate industry, sales of any sorts, or just women in business, if you know one, invite them, please, because this group and this movement is for them. And now I'm going to go around and ask everyone to introduce themselves to the team here, and so they can get a better sense of who you are and what you've done. So Lauren, if you will, please start us off.
Do you want my whole story?
Yes, the whole story, but the abbreviated version.
Well, like you and I talked about, I started as a 23-year-old kid. I've had 2 jobs my entire life. I worked at a restaurant from 15 to 22. And then I've been here since I was 23. I started like everybody else as an associate, and then I became manager within 4 months, and then I ran the office as an MGA for a couple months or 2 years, and then James Hill actually brought me to Redmond, which is where our corporate office is, our headquarters is in Washington. And I worked with Brett McCannell in recruiting, and then I went back into field operations. Field operations was a pilot project that Elia had us do. And it's long story short, I got on a plane every Sunday, and my job was to go into somebody else's backyard on their leads and resources and show them how to do 20 presentations every week, how to work referrals, and then of course make money. Mm-hmm. If you know anything about travel, 2.5 years is a long time to travel. So I came back into recruiting with Morgan Preston, who's your director of recruiting, and she and I had 22% growth the year that we ran it, which was really exciting, alongside Brett McCannell. And then it put me in a position to go into leadership development. And so then I started working with SAs and GAs on recruiting and field training and all that kind of stuff. And we had 17% growth in managers that year. And then Ilya asked me in October of 2016, I believe it was, 2017, I'm sorry, to be director of sales. And so I was in charge of about 12 million in production in 15 offices, or at least I oversaw the territory. Yeah. But yeah, I've done almost every job here, I think. And then just recently in October, I was asked to go, we moved Nicholas Lawrence from Seattle to Dallas, and so we moved him, and we needed to fill a void. So I packed my bags and moved down south, and so now I'm running Tacoma as an RGA there, and we're excited about it.
Well, we're excited to have you and all of the wealth of knowledge that you bring to the table here today and tomorrow on the panel as well. So thank you for being here. Christy, please, if you'd introduce yourself to the world.
Hi, I'm Christy Morris. I'm from the Tempe office. I just hit 10 months being released, and so very new to this business and this industry. Really, I was personally recruited into this by someone that I'd worked with. I had been happy and content at every job I've ever had, but I didn't realize that I was content until I found this and this amazing opportunity. Yeah. You don't realize you're just going through the motions until you've found something that all of a sudden just wakes you up and realizes that you have more to give, more potential, more to do in your life. And so I'm just very fortunate to be here. I wake up every morning with a purpose.
Absolutely. Well, we're fortunate to have you. And I know the influence that you've had on the agency and Tempe, and so thank you for being here and taking your time to be here today. Absolutely. And Holly, I know you don't need an introduction, but please, if you will, tell everybody a little bit more about yourself.
Hi guys, Holly Venekamp here. I am so humbled to even be on this podcast today with this amazing team. I got into this through my husband Dustin, who I met. He'd already been in the business for a long time, And he, our first date, he was like, I'm in financial services. And I go, what's that? Like, I honestly have really grown by watching him and being able to kind of be a fly on the wall at amazing events where I've then been able to connect and hear those stories and be inspired by amazing, amazing women who have been in this business. And I guess I'm here today because I'm really trying to help form some better connections and a stronger community. Because for me to be able to meet all these women and hear their stories and be inspired is something that I want to share with every other woman that's new and coming into our business or is, in an office really far away. And so I'm just, the last 6 years that I've been watching Altig TV and being able to see Lauren Coyne just light it up. The fact that I'm sitting here next to her is making me really excited. So yeah, this is awesome, Paul. I'm so excited for today.
Well, I'm excited because I feel very fortunate, and Marcus is behind the camera, so thank you, Marcus, for everything that you do. But I feel very fortunate and blessed to be here with you all too, because I'm going to just touch on, Holly, the creation of what this is and how it came about, because so many women have been talking about how they want their story to empower other women. And when I moved into the director of leadership role and was talking to our leaders and seeing how I can help, and I just kept hearing these women talk about, if I could just get one woman to know, to understand, to believe, to just one woman, that's all that I want. And so my wheels were turning, and then Cherie showed me this video, and it was okay, obviously, this needs to happen, right? Yeah. And so now Holly and Cherie and the rest of the women have really ran with this idea, and so here we are now with a platform for entrepreneurial minded women to come together and have this place that they can be safe ultimately, and lift each other up and do things together as a unit, as opposed to the division that we see so much of and all of that stuff. So I'm just very excited and blessed to be a part of it. So thank you for the opportunity to be here with you. But we do have some questions, and I would like to start the conversation just a little bit. Christy, you said something very powerful in your introduction. You said that you now feel as if you were going through the motions. Mm-hmm. And I saw you get a little bit emotional, and so, but now you feel like you have purpose. Would you touch on that? What does that mean for you?
You really don't realize it. As women, we get complacent and we get content. I've loved every job I've had. I've done really good. I've always been in a leadership position in every job I've had, helping to support other people, but didn't realize that I wasn't making a difference. I wasn't living up to my full potential. Yeah. And you have no idea what you can become, what you can do. And had this opportunity not been presented to me, and I kept on saying, no. She brought it up a couple times, no. And then the more I said no, the more this little gut feeling inside myself. And I told my husband, I called him and I was like, look, I just have this gut feeling. I haven't even met with her, don't even know what it is, but this gut voice inside me says I have to do this. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I know that I have to do it. And as women, we squash that. We don't listen to our gut instinct. And, we truly do. And I don't know if it comes from a place of fear or complacency or, not being supportive or supported in what we want to do. Yeah. But I wake up every morning and I have a purpose. Not only do I help, the community, people that I sit with, but other people in our agency, helping to make other people's lives better by offering this opportunity to them. Mm-hmm. I wake up every morning excited for the day. Good. As opposed to just going through it. And that's an incredible feeling. Incredible.
Why do you feel like women would squash that? What do you think that would be to where, now you are able to, and to any of you, but to now you have this opportunity to, it may be nerve-wracking or you may be a little scared, right? But just run with it.
I think that I've almost squashed every position I've had in a sense that it was like, hey, we want you to do this. I'm like, well, I don't know, and I don't know why that happens, or like in my mind, or I just kind of like talk to myself out of it, or oh my gosh, like what if it goes terribly wrong? What if I don't succeed at it? What if there's all these what ifs? I think that kind of comes in. And you start second guessing. I don't know if that well, at least I did. I started second guessing, like, is this the right thing? Should I go back into recruiting? Should I go back and travel for a field? Should I go back and be an RGA? Should I go, there's all these things, and you're right. Like there's, if we as women would just get better, like, no, just follow your gut and just do what it tells you to do. I feel like
amazing guts.
Yeah.
So much better off.
That for me, there's always a risk of failure. Like I still struggle so much with being like, it's okay if I mess up, because in my head it's not okay. Like to take risk means that there's a possibility to fail. And I think for so many women, we want to be perfect
and good.
We want to be great. We want it to be great the very first time, not the 100th time. And so that confidence, it's a lot easier to have when you look around and see other women succeeding, but it's not as easy to have when maybe you're the only one risking to try something new. And that's definitely something like I struggle with still.
For me, one of the biggest things is I'm in a different era in my life. Do I really want to make a change? Am I going to be financially stable to do it? Like, you have a family to support, you have bills, you have mortgage, you have, you have all these things that you have to take care of, and you're a mother, like in a different stage. Do I really want to do that? Do I want to make the change? Do I want to make that leap of faith? Do I want to do the work?
Yeah. Well, you're coming out on kind of the other side of that question now, having been, and what's your answer?
I wish I'd done it sooner. If I could go back and change everything, I would have made all those leaps and bounds. I would have, every opportunity I would have taken it up, because win or lose, you still come out a winner because you've learned from it. And that's what I've learned from this job.
And how would you say that having this community now of women entrepreneurs, because 9 years ago when you started, this community wasn't there, right? And so, not that supportive women and all that wasn't, it's just this there's an initiative now that we're going to intentionally reach out to each other and have a community that is safe. So maybe I'm up for a promotion and I'm scared to death. I'm having those fears, those doubts, those what ifs. How do you think a community like that will help this next wave of women that are, because we have so many 20, 21, 22, 25, I'm the old one at 30 in the office, right? So it's, how would this community now help the next generation of women coming up in the business or just in the industry in general?
I think for me, like, I wish I would have reached out to other women as I was taking promotions or going into doing something differently. Like, I wish I would have reached out to Ashlyn or to Tina or to Melinda Ray, or these women that have been here for a long time doing incredible things with their company. And instead, I think that I just figured it out by myself. And as I grow and as I get older, and I've just realized that it doesn't need to be like that. Like, I don't need to figure out just with me. I can ask the questions. I can call Holly and be like, Holly, this is what's happening in my life right now. What do I do? You know what I mean? And vice versa. And I think us as women, we just need to reach out more. And there's no doubt in my mind that anything that we go through as women, somebody before has done it or has gone through it. Definitely. And if you start the conversation, then you probably get the answers a heck of a lot faster than you trying to figure it out by yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. And I do think because we have so many offices, right? Which is such a blessing. We end up getting spread out. And so that's where I think we almost go about day to day. We forget to reach out because, out of sight, out of mind. When people are 12,000 or 1,200 miles across the country, you forget to reach out because you think whatever you're going through is just your own thing. And to have more women get to know each other better and be able to have a regular reminder that they exist and that they're succeeding and we can celebrate their wins with them. Like, I think that is what's going to help us all grow.
Absolutely. Well, and Christy, you touched on this when Holly asked the question, like, you're kind of coming out of it, the question is, what would you tell your younger self about the journey, and what would you tell other women starting out in business? Because you said you wish I would have started sooner, right? And of course, you're here at this time to value this and take advantage of it now, right? Because who knows, at 20, would you have valued it, right?
Yeah, everything has a purpose.
What would you say to your younger self, or to the newest woman coming into the business, of just kind of how to go about it, and the encouragement, or what would it be?
Just really listen to your gut instinct. If it's telling you to do something, do it. I really do wish I had started earlier. Listening to your mentors, other amazing women, and enjoy the process. Really just enjoy the process along the way.
Good. Lauren, how would you answer that?
If I could go back to my 23-year-old self and tell myself not to do things on the lazy days, on the days that I just didn't get up and go to work, or didn't do enough in the field, or didn't work my full 8 hours or whatever, I'd tell myself to just do it. Just do it. The system is a system. It's 5 days a week. It's 12 to 9, 9 to 6. Just do it. And I mean, I don't know where I would be if I could go back and take all those lazy days out, but I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's just I'd work a heck of a lot harder, and I think that my vision would be bigger. Where 9 years ago, I was a 23-year-old kid that just graduated from college. I didn't, in my mind, never thought that I would be a director of sales. Never thought that I would be an RGA. Never thought that I would have all these opportunities. And so when I do reorientation for my new hires now, it's like, no, I need you to dream big. I need you to I need you to be like from a 0 to 100 scale. I need you to be at 100 on vision. Like, what does your life look like in 10 years? And I think that if I had done that better, and not had the lazy days and just worked a little bit harder, I mean, God only knows where I'd be, but you can't take it back. They taught me a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So
I would go back and tell myself to listen to my instincts, to really, not look around at what everyone else is doing, and be okay with failure. Because that's how you grow, and that's how you learn. And that people aren't really gonna be as hard on you as I am on me. So if I could go back and fail a lot more quickly, I think I'd be in a better place even than I am now.
Failure's a big thing.
Failure's a hard
It's a really
thing.
scary thing to do, but one thing that I've learned in 9 years is, the more you fail, the more you learn.
Absolutely.
And if you can use it as that experience of just a learning experience, or hey, I make mistakes every day still as an RGA. I for sure make mistakes every single day, but what am I doing tomorrow to not make the same mistake again?
When I think the millennial generation is kind of changing this, because it feels like you talk to people, it seems like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur in some form or fashion, right? Because the digital age, it's so much easier to start your social media marketing, or whatever it is. Now it seems like we are rebellious and no, the system, let's do this. But do you think a lot of young women are coming out of college with whatever degree? I have a public health degree, and I've been in sales ever since I stopped playing football, right? Do you think a lot of women are looking at entrepreneurship when they're coming out of school? Do you think they're looking at these big time sales positions? How do you feel like that's perceived?
I think the stigma of sales in general has improved significantly, even in the last 5 years that I've really paid attention. I think that the younger generation, when I say when anyone says we're in sales, used to get a cringe and run away. And now you're I'm in sales, or we do sales, and they're okay, cool. There's not that negativity that there used to be associated with it, and I think that affords a lot of opportunities for young women to get into a business that before for them was just never even a viable option in their minds.
How do you think this Ladies Rising community can help impact women coming out of school, whether it be high school or college, right? Just to allow them the awareness of, look at what else is out there, and how can the Ladies Rising community be a part of that?
Biggest thing would be support. Knowing that you have the support of other women, not only other women, but we're very fortunate where we're at.
Yeah.
We have the support of all these amazing women that have paved the way and done it. But the men, what other industry, what other career, what other position can you, the men in our office, the men in other offices are so supportive of the women. They want more for us. It's oftentimes more for us than we want for ourselves. They envision this and push us to dream harder, think bigger, make higher goals, you know. So really you need the support of people to be able to do this, to live.
I think for me, growing up, it was very much like a Lauren, go to college. Lauren, go find a job for $60,000 a year. Lauren, go, you know what I mean? It was just, and that's kind of like how it was just, that's just normal. Like my mom is a teacher, my dad is a lobbyist, and that's just like, you go to college, then you find a job, and then that job's gonna pay you $60,000 a year, and then you're gonna, you know, like do that for the rest. And for women, especially entrepreneurial women, don't let that be the end all be all. You know what I mean? Like $60,000 is a lot of money. It's not that much money though when you're living day to day, and go after and get more.
Absolutely. Now, what are some of the challenges that women face in the corporate world that they may not face, you know, here in our industry?
As I've been, you know, working on building this Ladies Rising community, I've been doing a lot more research on just women in the workplace in general. And one of the things that I'm constantly hearing about is the issue of equal pay in most industries. Women are not getting paid as much as men are. And for me, that's I had kind of a light bulb that was really exciting. I was like, our contracts here are always equal pay.
Yeah.
Like our women from the start are getting paid equal, and every promotion they get is equal to any man. And I think like that's a challenge, but something that we need to be more vocal about as women to get out there, because we have a solution. And it's been built in for years. It's amazing. I think that's great.
Yeah, obviously with our contracts, I mean, Holly, you're right. They're the same. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, what your gender is. It literally does not matter. It's a code next to your name and social, basically. That here's what your contract is. This is what you're going to get paid when you do X, Y, Z. And then even better, when you want to be promoted, this is what you have to do, X, Y, Z. And then when you want the next promotion, this is what you have to do. It's not because I like you. It's not because you did a really good thing one day, or it's just, this is what you have to do. And here's the stepping stones to get it. And it doesn't matter if we're male or female or anything like that, whatever you want. I mean, the contracts are right there, go grab them.
Yeah.
Thinking of the positions moving up from the corporate world, there's typically only room at the top for a couple, and they're usually male. And if there is a female, there's only room at the top for one to hold that position. And we're very fortunate to be able to, if you do those steps, you do what it takes to get those positions, the sky's the limit for us.
Yeah.
There's room at the top for everybody, you know, so that's very unique to where we're at. And we're very fortunate to be here that we can have that and we can do that. And I think that's where the support of the women come in, because in other corporate positions, if there is room at the top, it's room for one.
Yeah.
So how can you have the support of other women when you're all competing for the same thing?
Yeah. Like here you can hit like an RGA position, turn around and tell any woman who's interested to know how you hit that RGA position. Like you literally, it's just, I always see women and all of the amazing people, you know, at conferences literally are like, here's how I did it. Let me turn around, stand on my back, and like make it better. We're always challenging each other to not only hit those positions by sharing what people have accomplished, but then, you know, kind of competing to just, I'm telling you how to do it, now you go do it faster or better, and then they turn around and share. And that's not something, when there's only one female leader in a company, that's not something she's doing, I don't think.
And we want more. We want more here. If you've done it, you want the people that you're helping, you want them to do it better than you. You want more for them than you want more for them than you actually wanted for yourself. And that's very unique, you know.
Well, and with that understanding of, the corporate structure of there can only be one, it's I'm sure that a lot of women want to support each other, but at the same time, it's like, I've got a family, I have bills that need to be paid. It's I love you, but I need to take care of my own, right? And so that's where, how do you really support and lift each other up when ultimately there's only one or maybe two positions? And so as our territories grow and expand, I mean, ultimately it is limitless for the amount of positions that are available for anyone to step in. And so how do you think that the Ladies Rising community can bring awareness to the fact, because I don't think enough women know that, right? That equal pay right off of the start. Your promotional track, it's ultimately yours, right? You dictate it. So how does this community and this platform bring awareness to the fact that you may choose to go down the corporate path, totally fine, right? But there are avenues in industries that have different capabilities in order to allow you to progress at the speed that you would like and not maybe be held up by certain things that you may face in the corporate world. How do you get that out there?
Well, I know there's a lot of different ways, and I know we can touch on all of them. For me, watching, an amazing leader like Cherie, she leads by example on that. She really does. The way that her and Michael have been able to integrate their family life with their entrepreneurial goals. Again, for me, I get so inspired at, or I just had such a profound moment watching Michael and Cherie at awards night, literally holding their infant daughter and holding the mic and trading Audrey back and forth and presenting awards and speaking. She absolutely leads by example as a woman who is having work-life balance, who is choosing her own, calling her shots, choosing her own destiny, and having equal pay, and really all these challenges that women are still dealing with in the workplace. There are women here that are really leading by example on breaking those barriers and accomplishing all of their dreams and their goals as women. So to answer, leading by example is one. What else?
Any other ways to really bring awareness to how this industry can cater to?
At the end of the day, we just need to keep talking about it.
Sharing the opportunity. David talks about it a lot. He was brought in, so was I. I was brought in by someone that I personally knew that's no longer with us. I've grown not just in this industry, but my husband tells me in the 10 months, I'm in a position I thought I was who I was going to be. There are no more changes to make, let's be honest. I've grown personally, immensely, and had this person not giving me this opportunity or this chance, who isn't even here anymore, I wouldn't be this person, So just my husband, my mom, my family wouldn't be as proud of me as they are every day telling me, just share the opportunity with everybody. Just continue talking about it. Absolutely.
Holly, you've mentioned this, and Lauren, you mentioned it too. It's been, this type of movement has been something you guys have both, longed for a long time. To be able to have somebody to lean on, like Lauren, you were talking about coming up in the industry and being the first director of sales for the agency, and as a woman and all of those things. It's how can this platform now be that support that maybe wasn't there even yesterday, essentially, right? But all these years that you guys have been around, how can we truly take advantage of this to make sure that it stays a constant in the future, so women know that through the connectivity, okay, I can just pick up the phone and call Lauren, hey, I need help, I'm fearful, what if, how can we now be that support system for everybody moving forward?
I think for me, I've always had great support in our business the last 9 years, and by all men, obviously, but they're always cheerleading me. You know, they're always my biggest cheerleaders, and always wanted what was best for me. But I do, if I could go back in 9 years, I would call the Melinda Releasey. I would call the Ashley Lauren. And I think that for all of you guys out there, it's just pick up the phone and call me. I work a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I'm up at 5. I don't go to bed till 11. You know, like, just call me. And I am so grateful when people do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is what I'm going through, and it makes you kind of not feel like you're alone a little bit, you know. But any way that we can help, continue to support women in business. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what it's about or what it is. It could be personal. I don't care. Just call me.
Yeah.
Just reach out.
Yeah, I think the way that this is going to be be successful is that women make the choice to put in the time to do what Lauren just did and say, hey, call me, and to reach out and to cheer each other on. I mean, one person can't create a movement, right? But together, I think women just making this a focus in their lives to share the opportunity to other women and to support the women that are succeeding in the business. And I think this is it's the first time we've ever really had this conversation. And I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful start.
Yeah. When you touched on this a little bit earlier, Holly, talking about calling your shots, right? You know, and so Babe Ruth, I think, was the first to do it, right? He pointed at the middle field fence and he hit the home run. But how is it now that we have so much accessibility to each other because of our platforms and, you know, the connectivity? Things go viral in, you know, 30 seconds, right? So how can, you know, women now using this platform, you know, call a shot and then potentially inspire someone else to not push down what those feelings, you know, that gut instinct like we talked about earlier, you know, what does that look like? You know, you mentioned Cherie and calling her shots, like, I'm going to be a mother and a woman in business. How can that help inspire other women to maybe call their own shot and do it for themselves and their families as well?
I think we just need to get the info. I think we need to share the stories. I think a lot of women are calling a lot of amazing shots and have called amazing shots that not everyone got to see. And so then they weren't inspired. Like, I got the privilege to watch Tina call her shot for top 10 producer and watch her go out and succeed, even though she found out she was pregnant, like, in the middle of that. And that was an absolutely inspiring story, but not everyone got to hear that story.
Correct.
And so we just need to continue to vocalize and have the courage to stand up there and say, I am calling my shot. This is what I'm doing. And then we need to make sure that we're putting it out there so that other women can be inspired by it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And cheer them on. Seriously, cheer them on. Even when people fail, like, it's always a learning process, right? So the support needs to be there as well for the courage that they had to call their shot in the first place.
Well, I know, being, you know, a person that was a part of a team, it's easy to, you know, call a shot when you've got a bunch of people behind you to help you follow through on delivering that, right? And so now as a unit, when someone, you know, maybe in the group chat is like, hey, I'm going for 50K. Well, great, I'll go for 50K as well. But now you don't feel alone, maybe, in that you are the only one, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, that's exciting moving forward. But as we wrap up, what are the thoughts that you guys want to leave the viewers with today, with what this community not only means for yourself, but moving forward for the industry, just for women in general? What are your final thoughts?
I would say that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and don't let that gut feeling or the fear of failure or anything get in the way of it. If you want it, have a big vision and dream big and go get it. You don't need anybody else there to tell you what you need to do or when you need to do it. Just go get it. Just go after it.
Christy?
I love it. I think you said it all. You know, for everybody out there, men and women, you know, this is a movement of all of us, just sharing that opportunity with everybody. You know, someone out there and they don't even know what they have a chance of being a part of. You could change someone's life by sharing this Ladies Rising. and just really supporting each other. And the fear, like even me, squashing that fear and being able to reach out to people who have done it, who have what I want, to emulate all the good things that I need in my life, you know. And you know, when you're really low, I reach out to people on my team for that support, lifting me up in those days, you know.
Absolutely. Holly?
Women, this is for you. This whole thing is, this is for you. And I just want to say how absolutely grateful, like beyond grateful I am to be able to support this, and hopefully you guys are able to take so much value from it. You guys create lifelong friendships from it, and relationships where you guys can call your shots together and grow, because at the end of the day, I've been so inspired for so many years by the amazing women here, and I want you to feel that truly. I think, yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Well, and just to wrap up, I always like to do a summary just because I always take notes. And so, you know, there's so many things that you all said today, but when we started the conversation about squashing that kind of that gut instinct, and our gut's really never wrong, right? We generally know what's right and what to do, but, you know, to finally have the encouragement and the support to step out in confidence and not, you know, squash that. But talking about, I think Holly, you mentioned, you know, just being perfect. And I think because today social media, and so often we see the perfect, the best life, the this, the that, right? And men fall victim to it as well, but we all know that women, the comparison thing and all of that, just to not have to know, or to know that you don't have to be perfect, right? To failure is okay, but ultimately failure is only failure if you quit, right? Just continue to move forward and use each other to pick each other up and dust each other off, and to continue to move forward. The calling the shots and having the encouragement and the confidence to know that it is okay